Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is Proverbs 186. Proverb today is for everything there is a season. It can also be heard as to everything there is a season. Okay, let's take a look at the note here. The proverb basically means there is a right time for everything, or there's a time maybe in our lives or throughout our lives where, we almost have to go through everything or many, many different parts of life. So let's continue. The origin of this proverb comes directly from the Bible. Ecclesiastes 3. Ironically, this passage from the Bible was made into a famous pop song, originally by Pete Seeger, I think in the 1950s, called Turn, Turn, Turn. It was later a big hit by Judy Collins and the band called The Byrds. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people know this song. It's really, really popular, but I never realized it was a direct passage from the Bible. Pete Seeger almost took it word for word. I mean, he did a few things. He added the title of Turn, 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 and, having that as a chorus. And I think there's several versions of this. There's even more remakes that I mentioned here. Sometimes they'll change one or two words around, but it's very close to the original Bible quotation. So that's what I'm going to go over, is the Bible quotation here. Okay, yeah, I would almost, even after we finish this, recommend that you actually go out and check the song. You probably know it. It's in a lot of movies too. I think it's in Forrest Gump, and it's in a number of movies. You really know this, but let's go over it. So these were the numbers of the passages in the Bible of this book, Ecclesiastes, that these lines come from. And here's the beginning, To everything there is a season. Now in the song, it goes, I think he added like turn, turn, turn after that. So in the song, it's like, to everything there is a season, turn, turn, turn. That's the way the song goes. And there is a time to every purpose under the heaven. So meaning there's a reason. I don't know. I guess it kind of suggests the idea that, the whole world, there's a plan here, and we're all part of it somehow. I think there's something to it like that. A time to be born, a time to die. This is kind of how the song goes too, but this is directly from the Bible quote. A time to plant, a time to pluck up. All right, remember here, if we say pluck up, means, pull out things that you planted, things that you put in. So you put into the work of stuff in life, and there's a time to take from it. That which is planted, yeah. So let's continue. A time to kill, a time to heal. Yeah, that's another thing, is they believe this passage might have originally been from King Solomon. He was very, supposed to be a very wise king. I think he's one that's also famous for the proverb, which I haven't covered yet, is this: there's nothing new under the sun. So it's kind of like the life is just, I guess Pete Seeger got the idea that it's just turning around and around, for everybody. So a time to kill, a time to heal. So even in the Bible, it's a time to kill. Maybe if there is evil or bad, maybe you still have to stand up against it. A time to break down, knock it down. A time to build up, maybe if you break it down, you build it up again. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn, when people close to us die or loved ones die or bad things happen. And a time to dance, a time to enjoy your life too. A time to cast away stones. Well, cast away means throw them away. So again, the idea of knocking things down that's not good or didn't work out and starting over again. And a time to gather stones together. So rebuild again. A time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing. Remember, refrain here means, to do the opposite, or to purposely not do something. And a time to refrain from embracing. All right, and then the quote, a time to rend. Okay, well here if we say rend, time also means a time to tear something to pieces. So again, if something's bad, we shouldn't just run away from it. We should try to get rid of it or stop it, or if something is bad or evil, I guess we got to stand up against it. And a time to sow. All right, in this case, I think the sow means join, repair, create again. Time to refrain. So Okay, and a time to cast away. Yeah, time to rend, a time to sow, a time to keep silent, and a time to speak. So that maybe there's a time where maybe you shouldn't say anything. Maybe it's a solemn time, but there's a time where you need to speak up too. Okay, a time to love, a time to hate. Okay, so this is kind of how the theme of the song goes as well. A time of war, a time of peace. Okay. Yeah, basically, and I think in the song, I think he has on it. Yeah, a time for peace, and I think they have the end of the song. I swear it's not too late. Yeah, I think some of the song was brought back during the Vietnam War. Basically meaning that we don't have to go through this. We can change things. We can make things better. Okay, and let me just give a few examples of how we might use this proverb. For everything there is a season. So, example number 1 here. They say, don't worry, it will work out in the end. Now is just not the right time. To everything there is a season, meaning there's a right time for whatever it is that they're hoping for, or so that something was meant to be. And number 2 here says, give her more time to get over her divorce. She needs time for closure. For everything there is a season. Meaning, again, we have to go through these things, or there's a right time for everything. Okay, anyway, I hope you got it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was kind of food for thought, for something to think about. Very interesting that this famous song, really, Pete Seeger pretty much took it directly from the Bible, just changed a few words, added a title, and that was it. Had a good hit for himself. And put it to music, of course. That was an important part. Anyway, thanks for your time. Bye-bye.